Hi, everybody. Welcome inside the CrossFit Update Studios. I'm Sean Woodland with Tommy Marquez and Pat Sherwood as we get you set for the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games Open as we break down all the regions and the subsequent regionals. Today, we're taking a look at Latin America. For the first time since 2014, we have a Latin American regional. It is comprised of two regions. That's different than it has been in the past. Central America and South America. Central America will send 15 athletes to the regional. South America gets 25. And when it's all said and done, just one athlete from that regional will be headed to the CrossFit Games. So first time since 2014, Latin America has its own regional. I know they're excited down there, but when you look at the history of this regional, they've kind of had a checkered past when it comes to the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, checkered past would be putting it nicely. You look at just how they performed on a regional level. I mean, they had some athletes that were in the mix to the top of the Open, but starting in 2011 and 2012, when we unified the standards and programming across the board, 72% of the athletes that took the floor for regionals weren't able to meet the minimum work requirement, so they didn't even finish the weekend. And during that time frame, only one woman, Teresa Barnett, who made it to the games both years, was the only woman to finish. So they were having trouble just finishing regionals, and that during that time frame as well, from 2011 to 2014, their best finish at the games was 40th. So that was kind of the catalyst for the first change when we took away the regional and kind of forced them to kind of earn it back. And I think with the recent performances from Big CrossFit at the Games, some stronger performances from individuals, I think that's why we're now shifting back to giving them a spot at the Games. And just one, it's not like we're giving them a whole group of 5, but I think at this point they've earned it.
And I will say, well, before I say something, let me say that Latin America is one of my favorite regions on the face of the earth. Did the motorcycle trip through there, it's in my heart, that should be known, but I'm not sold on this. I'm not sure if, based upon the stats that you just said, if historically maybe the performances haven't been where we would want them to be. Why not let them just continue to try to fight and claw for a spot out of what used to be the South regional?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think you take a look at a couple of things. You look at the growth that they've had the last couple of years. They're the second largest region in terms of population numbers. They added roughly 18 to 19,000 athletes in the Open last year. That's more than the entire West Coast has registered combined. And you look at the fact that they had a team in the top 20 at the Games. They had 2 athletes fighting for the final heat at regionals. That's pretty much as good as Canada West has done in the last couple of years, minus maybe Emily Abbott and Brent Fikowski moving back from Australia. I mean, Canada got shut out for teams last year. They're still getting to fight for 5 spots. I think that if we take this from a whole perspective and also looking forward the next couple of years where they're trending, I think in the very least they've earned 1 spot at the Games. And I think we kind of got this one right, at least with kind of establishing a spot at the table for them and giving them potential to maybe earn more.
You somehow worked a dig on Canada into that, which that swung me. Now I'm with you. Okay, I'm all for it.
To your point, too, you got to look at what's coming up the pipe here, and there are some athletes down there in those two regions that you can get a little bit excited about and think that in a few years maybe they make some noise at the Games.
Yeah, there's a teenager, Guillermo Malheiros, I think took kind of the Games by storm, the teenage competition last year when he snatched 292 pounds.
Wow, okay.
And didn't even know it was on the bar, and he made it look easy. I mean, that's a kid who's aging up into the adult division for the first time this year. It may not be this year, but in a couple of years, some of these athletes, especially from Brazil, look like they could be contenders on the world stage.
Latin America issued me some of my largest heartbreak in the 2017 season, and specifically, I'm going to call you up by name, Marcelo Bruno. If you guys remember last year, man, I was shouting his name left and right. He crushed the Open, 13th worldwide. Just came in, had high hopes, but regionals didn't go how he wanted to. He wound up taking 11th place there, only had 1 finish in the top 10 out of all the events. So big numbers on paper. The performance didn't add up in real life, but he's one of those athletes, and also along with Brenda Castro, that I'm very excited to see with another year competition under their belt, if with this new format, we send some really serious athletes to the Games.
And I think Latin America was a little bit undersold last year. Now that they have a guaranteed spot for the men and women, I think we could see some very talented athletes from, say, that Big Friends team, who they had 4 athletes inside the top 10 at the Open at Latin America, and who knows how well they would have done as individuals at regionals. They may be drawn away from the team competition this year to go individual and maybe give them a little bit of a boost when you compare them, to other regionals in terms of performance.
And I'll guarantee you this is not set in stone. Just because they have the 1 spot back, they now have to fight to keep that. I mean, if
Absolutely.
send athletes to the games and they're again finishing in the bottom, and we have the problems with the regionals that we've had in the past, I guarantee you that this thing will change again.
Yeah.
These are the rules for now.
Right.
Yeah, we've set the precedent already that we can take that spot away depending on competition level and participation. So I think right now we've got a good system set up to kind of adjust as we go, and it gives us a little bit of leeway to give and take spots at the games as we see fit.
It's going to be fun, though, just to be back down there and see the atmosphere of that regional.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get a taste of it.
Yeah.
Very first open announcement, 18.1 down there in Sao Paulo. Can't wait to check that out. That is going to kick off the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games Open. If you haven't already, go to games.crossfit.com and sign up. We will continue to get you set for the season as we break down all 18 regions and all 9 regionals as the 2018 season is upon us. For Pat Sherwood and Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland. We'll see you guys next time.